you ain't gonna stop. Okay. Some people think the worst thing that you could get is possible HIV, AIDS, you know, something that's definitely life threatening, something that's not, you can't reverse it. Something that would really take you out of, you know what I'm saying, out for the count. And I noticed that there's a lot of people that won't stop. You see what I'm saying? And I know you probably thinking like, won't stop what? See, the thing about it is, you should have stopped when you lost your job. You should have stopped when you had that bad breakup. You should have stopped when your child was sick and you didn't know if they was gonna live or not. You should have stopped when you when you got COVID-19. You should have stopped, you know what I'm saying, when you had all of that negative stuff, when you was homeless, when you lost your car, you lost your job. You should have stopped then. You should have stopped. You should have knew better. You should have said, you know what, God, I appreciate you bringing me through this hardship. But for some reason, like, it just seems like to me, when people go through a hardship, they forget that they just went through a hardship. They forget that they was praying to God. God, if you let my child survive in this hospital, I'll change my ways. I'll stop smoking. I'll stop drinking. I'll stop cursing. You should have stopped, but you ain't stopped. And some of y'all need to catch HIV or AIDS to stop, to realize how you shouldn't be wasting your time. And the thought process is right now, man, I see a lot of people wasting their time. And it's like, what does it take to really open up your eyes and say, start living your best life, in real time? What is it going to take to get through to you? What is it going to take for you to understand that a lot of that negative stuff that you're dealing with right now, you're dealing with it because you continuously could do the same thing. You continuously listen to the same thing. You continuously go where the negativity is. And it's like, well, what is it going to take you to stop and realize, bro, tomorrow ain't promised. Hell, the next 15 minutes ain't promised. But you ain't gonna stop until you land in the hospital and you got HIV, AIDS, and you dying, and then that's when you're gonna start begging God for another chance. That's when you're gonna say, man, I wish I didn't do that and I did more of that. Man, I wish I would have hugged my loved ones. Man, I wish I'd have did something more positive. And that's when you're gonna say, God, remember me? You ain't gonna stop. Well, this is a friendly reminder, all right? Before you run out of time, before you find yourself in a situation where now you have to pray to God and hope that God comes and rescues you and saves you and gives you that ointment or that anointment that gets you out of your situation, let me remind you of the time that you're wasting. Let me remind you of the people that love you. Let me remind you that all your attributes and blessings that you're having right now, bro, those can easily be taken away. Stop wasting your time. Stop wasting your time arguing. Stop wasting your time fighting with everybody, trying to prove to everybody you somebody. Stop hating. Stop the jealousy. Stop being envious. Stop. You ain't got time for it. You ain't got time for it. Live your life. Live your best life in real life. It's time. It's okay. It's okay. Because I don't want you to be sitting in a hospital bed. I don't want you to be sitting in any bed talking about, God, please give me another chance. You got all the chances you need right now. I see a lot of people who take for granted what they've been through. They take for granted. Like if you say, hey, I was homeless at one time and now you have a home. You say, I didn't have a car at one time and now you got a car. You say, hey, I used to be sick and now you're healthy. But it's like you forgot that you used to be sick. You forgot you used to be homeless, and you take for granted your blessings. You so busy being hateful and spiteful. You so busy being having a discontentment for your position right now, not remembering, hey, yesterday I didn't have this. Last year I didn't have this. And now that you have it, it's like you don't appreciate it. It's like, yo, F you, God. I don't appreciate you saving my life. I don't appreciate you rescuing me out of that fire, that burning building. I don't appreciate you saving me after that car wreck. Man, forget that. I know I lost my job and I begged and I cried and I pleaded for you to get me another job, but I'm not worried about you, God. But the second you get in trouble, second you need a little help, now you remember somebody. Stop taking life for granted. Stop taking your life for granted. Stop thinking that it's always tomorrow. You always got a second chance to make, forget a first impression. You always got a second chance to do something again. And that's not always the chance. That's not always the situation. Stop taking life for granted. There are people looking at you that's saying, you know what, man, you are so blessed. So blessed to be alive, so blessed to have the money that you have, so blessed to be in a position that you're in. And it's like a lot of people are not happy to be so blessed. A lot of people don't remember that they at one point in time they didn't have those blessings. At one point in time they were sitting in the house and they ain't had no lights. They ain't have no water. They ain't have no fresh clothes to put on. And now, you know, since they're far removed from that, they've forgotten about it. I see a lot of people who don't remember how blessed they are. And it's going to take something tragic to remind them, hey, listen, man, you know, life can end like that. I never sit online and I never brag about my blessings. I never sit online and I never say, you know, haha, I got this and you don't, or whatever. Because I realize how important, first of all, how important time is, but I realize how fast your blessings can be taken away from you as well. And I applaud anybody who says, you know what, I've been blessed beyond average means, and they don't sit and brag about it. You know what I'm saying? I don't walk around and say, hey, this is my house, this is my car, this is my... Now, if you see it, then cool. But the thing about it is, I realize that a lot of people waste time bragging about things that really could be taken away from them like that. Bragging about, you know, things that really don't really mean anything of any real value or really any real essence, but they feel like it makes them. Your material things don't make you. Your material things shouldn't make you. I heard a man talk about leadership. And a lot of what he said, I felt like, yeah, that is definitely spot on. Definitely spot on. But he kind of lost me when he started talking about the flaws of leaders. And this is what I mean, all right? You can be a leader, whether self-proclaimed or not, but the fact of the matter is leaders are battle-tested. Now, in the military, I talk about the military a lot, but the fact of the matter is, in the military, you get evaluations that kind of show, you know what I'm saying, your left and right margins in regards to, you know, what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong, what you need to work on. Hey, we're going to come back in 30 days and we're going to reassess the situation. Or we're going to come back quarterly. We're going to come back annually, and we're going to, you know, keep you on the right track. Now, in the military, it's very easy to battle test a leader. But in life, you know, when you don't have that parameter of your left and right margins, in life, it's a little bit hard for people to determine, well, what makes this person a leader? What is a leader? Now, we got the definition of what a leader is in the dictionary, right? And then we got everybody else's definition of what they feel like a leader is. But let me explain something to you guys, right? A leader knows how to follow. A leader knows how to provide empathy. A leader knows how to provide direction. A leader knows how to provide encouragement. A leader knows how to provide, to protect, to be a role model, to most of all be an example. But a leader is not perfect. And I heard this young man talk about, well, he's not a young man at all. You know what I'm saying? He's actually older. I think we're about the same age. But I heard this content creator say, you know, this person is not a leader because they're behind on child support. They're not the people's champ because they're behind on. And I scratched my head and I said, you know what? I know men that were in the military with me that don't have legs right now, but they leaders. I know men that have gotten divorces, but they're leaders. I know men that you know what I'm saying, have been stone cold alcoholics, but they're leaders. I think the issue is we haven't defined what leadership is. We haven't defined what leadership is in our communities or whatever. And I think that we waste a lot of time. This is one of those another situation where we waste time. We waste time at anybody who is self-appointed or anybody who is chosen to be a leader. We waste time pulling them down instead of lifting them up, instead of defining the definition of what leadership is. And I don't think the definition of leadership should be altered because a person has flaws. We need to learn how to build one another up. We need to learn how to protect one another. We need to learn how to provide for one another. And we need to learn how to be examples for one another. You don't have to be perfect to be a leader. And this is what I wanted to say, to this gentleman, to this content creator, whatever. You don't have to be perfect to be a leader. You understand what I'm saying? There's numerous reasons why you could be behind on child support. There's numerous reasons why your relationship could have failed. There's numerous reasons why you could have lost your job or got evicted, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But that don't mean you're not a leader. And me personally, I don't like to see men try to take away, like I'm gonna take away your title because you're not perfect. Well, in the military, when you are a sergeant, you're an officer, a warrant officer, or whatever case may be, right? You get the title of leader. You get the title of leader. But when you fail or you're not perfect, they don't take away the leadership title. What they do is they assist you into making sure that you become that leader, making sure that the attributes of leadership you exude on a regular basis. But for some reason, if you take away the military, it's like on a daily basis, us as men, what we do is we take away the attributes of leadership and then we add what we want to add. Well, if they're behind on child support, they're not leaders. If they had a problem with their relationships, they're not leaders. And I don't think that we should be doing that. I haven't seen a perfect leader yet. Not in the military, not in the civilian world. Like, I haven't seen a perfect leader. And I think that we do more to hinder leadership. That's why people are afraid to step up. Now, here's the thing about leadership. Salute to everybody in the chat. Some people are natural born leaders and some people are made into leaders. Now, I don't know what type of leader you are, but my thought process is this. Ladies and gentlemen, I understand that there are a lot of women right now, especially black women, that are questioning black leadership. They're questioning black leadership because it's like, well, what is a leader? You know what I'm saying? What do you need to have to be a leader? And what we do is anybody that we ordain to be a leader, anybody that we ordain to be a hero, anybody who we ordain to be a representative, for some reason we always find these ways of taking shots at them. Let's or him or her taking shots at them. Let's pick them apart. Let's pick them apart. Let's find out the dents, or if we can make dents in their armor. And if they can't find dents and holes in your situation, they make dents and holes. Leaders versus villains. Leaders versus the adversaries. And it's not just a community, it's people that look like you. That's why it's such a things are discombobulated, because black women don't see a lot of leadership in black men. Black children don't see a lot of leadership in black men. And then the black men who don't possess those characteristics of being a leader, they promote the most negative things that they can promote about that leader. I sat down and I listened to these content creators, and they talked about leadership, and they talked about, heroes and self-proclaimed leaders and all of that stuff or whatever. But you know what I didn't hear from them? I didn't hear how they are helping those leaders lead. I didn't hear how they were helping those leaders become better. I heard a lot of shots being taken. I heard a lot of disrespectful comments. But one of the things I think that got me was the comment about because that leader or that hero or person of the people, they're behind on child support, so how can you follow them? And I was scratching my head and I was like, So does that mean that they lack leadership because they're behind on child support? Does that mean that they're not a good person because they're behind on child support? Does that mean they can't articulate or have a thought process because they're behind on child support? Is that what is the example of leadership? What is the perfect example of leadership? That's my question to you guys, because I find a lot of people, they're wasting time. They're not only wasting time with their life, they're wasting time with other people's lives. I believe that everybody viewing this video right now is a leader in their own right. What do I mean? I'm glad you asked. I think that if you are doing the things that you need to do as an adult, whether it's just for you, for your family members, for your friends, your community, I think every time you wake up and you decide to say, you know what, today I'm gonna be a lot more positive, today I'm gonna smile a lot more, today I'm gonna encourage people a lot more, I'm gonna reach out to my family members and tell them that I love them, I'm gonna hug my friends, I'm gonna give back to the community, I'm gonna do these things, I'm going to be an example, I'm going to be optimistic. You're a leader. You're a leader, whether you know it or not. In the military, I had a lot of soldiers come in that did not know that they were leaders. They didn't know that they were leaders. But today, they know they're leaders. Before I retired, they knew that they were leaders. And they lead your children right now. But there's a lot of people right now that are on YouTube, and they don't realize that they are leaders. They are examples. We not perfect examples, but we are examples. There's a lot of conversation about black men and what they don't do and what they're not doing, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So when I see a black man, the first thing I want to do is I want to promote him. Hey, I want you to be at your best. You know, so, you know, my thought process is I will not knock a man because he's behind on child support. I won't knock a man because he has flaws. What I'm gonna try to do before I knock you is to build you up. And I see that's the kind of the go-to, you know what I'm saying, when we talk about leadership. And the thought process is, what type of leader would you be if you didn't help someone else? You know, I think I think the content creator name was the trucker, the trucker or something. I don't know, but I was listening to his podcast, and he was referencing another content creator and saying that, you know, how can you follow someone, you know, how can he be a leader if it's this, this, and this, and this? And my thought process is, very well, everybody's not perfect. You understand what I'm saying? And if you're trying, man, hey, look, salute to you. God bless you. Because everybody don't care. Everybody don't care. They don't care if your children come across their page, their channel, right? I've seen a lot of men on YouTube in reference to content creators, right? You have men that sit around and their whole synopsis is, well, I'm gonna call other men gay, I'm gonna call other men hairdressers, I'm gonna call other men this, I'm gonna call other men that. And then I sit back and I say, I wonder, do they consider themselves to be leaders? Like, I wonder what woman sits around them and say, that's a real man. That's a real man. That's how men talk. I wonder what their children say. I wonder how their parents feel about them sitting online doing that. And it's like, me personally, I think this is an opportunity to not only, I mean, people use, you know, YouTube and other platforms, social media platforms for different things, right? But my thought process is, I wonder why you would use it to promote hatred, to promote negativity, to promote disdain for other people. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, there is not enough black love in society. It's just not. It's not a lot of great black examples of love in society. There's a lot of examples of hatred. There's a lot of examples of disrespect, but there's not a lot of examples of black positivity. And I wonder why that is. Like, if I go to a channel, and your channel, you know what I'm saying, and I'm talking about men right now, and I go to your channel and it is riddled with nothing but negative jokes, disrespect for women, disrespect for other men. And it's like, why do you exist? Like, what is your purpose? You ain't building shit. You're doing more to distract from the real conversation, the real work that needs to be done. And in my thought process, can you imagine me having so much negative things to say about other men, but I never do anything to empower them? To say, well, you're not a leader, you must be gay, and you're not this, and you're not that, and you're not, but I don't embody anything that I'm saying that they're not. It is difficult for men like me to respect men like that. Now I'm all for trying to reach out and help and support, etc., etc., etc. But when I see grown men more worried about another man's sexuality, more worried about another man's life in regards to, you know, who they're dating and who they, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I had a man say, Mario J, I never see any of your kids. You know, the first thing I started thinking, like, it's some Brother Polite type shit. Like, my message has nothing to do with my kids, has nothing to do with who I'm dating, where I live at, what I drive, how much money I make. It has where I work at, whatever I do. It has something to do with saying, I want to say something that's going to trigger your mind to be more positive, to provide a perspective that's going to say, let's change the narrative. It's not to showcase, look at all what I got. Look at all what I have. And I think that we get away from the actual conversation, especially as men, because when people are in competition with you, they want to know more about you so that way they can use it against you. And the thought, matter of fact, I even had somebody say, well, you talk about the military, I don't never see no uniform. I'm like, I'm retired. Like, I'm 3 years retired. My stuff is hanging up in the closet. But if you go back, see, this is the thing. The problem is a lot of people talk, but they don't do no research. Like, they'll give you all this certain, like, you'll see them in the videos or you'll see them wherever you see them at, and they'll talk, you know. And I notice a lot of people that have like a lot of this animosity or a lot of this disdain for other people and this negative, they always hide their face, or you only can see like them driving, or they have some type of avatar. Like, they never really show their face. I can't trust you if you're doing that. But the fact of the matter is, if they did their research and went back on my videos, they would see me in my office with my plaques and Army stuff and all that other stuff, whatever. The Army for me was another chapter in my life. You understand what I'm saying? It was another chapter. The streets for me was another chapter. The hood for me was another chapter. You understand what I'm saying? So this chapter is the empowerment chapter. This chapter is where I take everything that I learned, all the lessons that I learned from life. Okay, whether it's the military, whether it's the street, whether it's jail, whatever it is, and I combine that and I deliver what I need to do in this chapter. I think the issue is that when you find men that don't focus on the chapter that you're in, they don't focus on the chapter that, how many people right now that's viewing this video, you've been delivered from something? Salute, salute. You've been delivered from something. Like, you had a major issue. You was addicted to drugs. You was an alcoholic. You were, you know, you was out there. You was wild. You was a gang member. Like, you were wilding. You was just living your best life under the worst conditions. That was a different chapter in your life. So now imagine you saying, you know what, I want to give back to my community. I want to do things in my community or whatever. And you go down to the local shelter or whatever, and you say, hey, you know, can I volunteer to, you know, serve food or fold clothes or fix beds or sweep floors? They say, yeah, okay, cool. And then you have somebody that says, well, you used to be a gang member, right? Well, show me your flag. The fuck does that got to do? What does that got to do with right now? It has nothing to do with right now. It's who you are right now. It's what chapter in life you are right now. But a lot of people, like I said before, waste time. They waste time. They waste energy. They waste effort. Can you imagine doing a 12, 14, 15-minute video, hour-long video, you know what I'm saying, cracking jokes and bashing and talking about men's sexuality and blah, blah. That's just a bunch of negative shit, right? And you don't make it home. Somebody rams you and you die. And they said, what was the last thing that he did before he died? And they play your video. They listen to your video. This is what he was wasting his time doing? So unproductive, so unoriginal. This ain't what men do. Don't wait till you get HIV and ask God for more time. Don't wait till your back's against the wall and you have nothing else left to ask God for more time. While you're wasting videos doing negative shit, you should be talking to your children. While you're wasting your time doing negative shit, you should be building your life. While you're wasting your time doing negative shit, you should be getting to know yourself, reinventing yourself, appreciating the things that you have, the blessings that you have, the people that you have around you that love you. But I noticed that a lot of people are out here and they're hurt. They're hurt, they're jealous, they're envious. They're all of these things when they don't have to be. People choose to be those things. They choose to be those things. And I want to remind people, I really want to reach out to you guys and I really want to tell you, you don't have to be. You do not have to be. My email, Mario J, J-A-Y-E, the number 1 at gmail.com. If you ever need somebody to talk to and you just want to vent or whatever the case may be, feel free to email me. I'll make sure that you get a number that you can reach me at and we could go like that. See what I'm saying? Because I see grown men. Hell, I just seen a couple videos about myself. And I'm just like, man, I just feel like things could be so much better. Like you could really use that creativity and that energy to promote something positive. But for some reason, man, we got this this inner demon in us where it's really about let me tear you down instead of build you up. It's really about let me say something negative about you, but never really reach out to you and talk. And I don't understand how we respect that. Like if you're a grown woman, if you're a grown man, if you're an adult, like I don't understand like how we respect that. I'm gonna be honest with you. The day that Mario J or ToughLove decides to sit down and go live and say, well, yo, this video ain't about no substance. We're just gonna sit down. We're just gonna, you know what I'm saying, start bashing a bunch of people, man. Let me talk about these black girls, man. Let me talk about these black boys, man. Let me just unsubscribe. I'm wasting your time. Unsubscribe. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time. When you go stand in front of your husband, your boyfriend, your wife, your girlfriend, your mom, your dad, your children, your co-workers, your friends, hell, even your enemies, if this was the last video that you watched, telling you not to waste time, to live your best life under the best conditions, telling you to reinvent yourself, telling you to hug the people that love you, to make sure that they know that you love them, to give them their flowers while they're alive, to not waste your time with negativity and indulging in, you know, when men don't joke. Let me help y'all. Men don't joke. When I'm talking to another man, you know what I'm not doing? I'm not questioning his sexuality. I'm not saying, well, let me look at your facial hairs and let me look at your car and let me look. I'm talking to you as a man. Forget the jokes. Let's talk as men. If we can't talk as men, then I can't consider you to be a man. I can't take you serious. And that was something that I told Low Key T for Life when he was talking to Kwame Brown. I said, bro, I had to give you a second look, brother. And I'm going to tell you why, because when I first talked to you, it was all about jokes. It was like, oh, your beard, your golden beard and blah, blah. And I'm like, You want to have a conversation or you don't. And it wasn't until I spun back around and I said, okay, well, let me pull up and talk to him or whatever. And I think low keys, he's pretty, he got his ways, but I think he a good dude. John Horse, I met John Horse. Salute to him. And sometimes you got to give people a second look, a second opportunity. And I believe that a lot of these, content creators or whatever kids me, I've given the benefit of the doubt. But I'm gonna be honest with y'all, man. The reason why I expect so much, that I demand so much, is because our children are going to find these channels and they're going to focus on something about this channel that pulls me in. There's something about this channel that resonates with me, etc., etc., etc. Because 9 times out of 10, for some reason, they can't talk to you. They can't talk to mom about sexuality. They can't talk to dad about entrepreneurship. They can't talk to mom about not being emotionally damaged. They can't talk to dad about well, should I tote guns or not? I don't know what. They're gonna find somebody to talk to. They're gonna find someone to listen to, and it may not be you. And it may be the person that you wouldn't think they would listen to. So the more people that you make positive, the more opportunity exists for them to find something positive, for them to listen to something positive. And if this ain't the type of message for you, hey, it is what it is. I'm telling you right now, there's a bigger picture. Somebody said, why do you care so much? Who do you think you are? I'm you. I'm you. I'm a parent like you. I'm a brother like you. I'm an uncle like you. I'm a civilian like you. I'm an adult like you. But the difference is I might not care like you. Because a lot of people don't care. They don't care. They don't care what your kids watch. They don't care what your kids go through. Some video out there is going to expose Brother Polite for what he did. Some YouTuber is going to reach a child and say, these are the warning signs. These are the things that may or may not happen depending on how this man wants to get you alone, or depending on how he say, oh, you can talk to me. I'm always here for you, etc., etc., etc. Somebody, some YouTuber, some content creator is going to take it upon themselves to provide information to someone that is naive and say, you know what, man, you got me out that hardship. Because they almost had me. Your message helped save me from committing suicide. Your message helped save my marriage. Your message helped me stop holding grudges and letting people live in my head rent free. Thank you. This ain't for everybody. I understand, like, some people, they want the raunchy entertainment. They want, the gossip. They want the drama. They want the... We probably turn up every now and then, no doubt. But I understand that conversations like this need to be had. I understand that there's a lot of people that say, you know what, if I start talking like you, Tough Love, I'm not going to be able to hold an audience. I'm not going to get nobody to like. I'm not going to get nobody to share. I'm not gonna get no donations. I don't know, Tough Love. Yeah, I agree with what you're saying, bro. But if I start talking like that, if I start talking that positive thing, I'm not gonna get no views, bro. But you might save somebody's life. Views versus lives. When I was growing up, man, social media wasn't as big as it is now. And it wasn't so many role models available, or like YouTube videos, that you could go to and get some feedback, some encouragement, some a different perspective. It was just the people that was around you. If you only had thugs and criminals and whatever around you, then that's what you normally got advice from. If you only had pimps and hoes around you, that's who you got your advice from. That's where you got your relationship advice from, your sex advice, your criminal advice. You got your life advice from these people. But now it's different. Now it's somebody giving your children advice that you don't know, that live miles and cities away. And if you could do anything to make sure that the advice is more positive, wouldn't you do it? Wouldn't you encourage it? Wouldn't you enforce it? Wouldn't you demand it? So when I see men that sit online and all they do is promote negativity, I feel like it is my duty to say something, whether it corrects it or not. But I said something. We worry about the Lil Nas X, and rightfully so. We worry about Russell Westbrook wearing a dress, rightfully so. We worry about Brother Polite, rightfully so. But we don't worry about the average everyday person that promotes so much negativity that their entire content base is filled of it. No accountability. But we want Lil Nas X to be accountable. We want Brother Polite to be accountable. We want Russell Westbrook to be accountable. We want people that are out our tax bracket to be accountable because we say so. But the people within our tax bracket, we turn the other cheek. It's okay. Go ahead and do what you got to do. There are a lot of great content creators from all walks of life that I subscribe to. I share their information or whatever case may be. But there's a lot of negative ones too. And they're not just black. And I would be remiss if I said that, me by myself, I could change anything. No. I'm going to stake my place in the soil. And this is what I mean. Sometimes all you need is a small light. All you need is a small ounce of hope. It's people out there that don't have hope. Some little girl or a little boy out there being abused right now. Emotionally, mentally, physically, don't have hope. Right? Some mother out there trying to figure out how she's going to support her kids. Trying to figure out, hey, if I go to work, who's going to be home with my kids? If I do this, who's going to do that? Hey, some guy out there just got released out of jail and it's like, man, I shouldn't even been locked up if I'd had a better lawyer. It's a lot of people looking for hope. A lot of people looking for hope. Suppose you could provide that hope. Suppose you could do something to provide that hope. Suppose if you sit back and you say, man, I've learned a lot in my life. I've been through a lot of shit. Shootouts, knives. I've been through a lot of shit. Give somebody hope. Somebody said, who are you? Motherfucker, I'm the truth. It's okay that you've been through something. It's okay that your back's been against the wall. It's okay that you had to get it out the mud. It's okay that you were in a situation where now you say, you know what, I'm a victor, I'm a champion. It's okay. It's okay to have scars. When people can't do what you can do, the first thing they do is try to stop you from doing it. I don't know how you do that, Mario J, but what about your beard, though? Let's talk about your beard. Oh, you trying to empower people? Well, you said you was in the military. Let me see some of these certificates you got. What about my message? I'm not here to beef with nobody. I'm not here to argue with nobody. And I'm here to do my part. And if my part helps somebody in your family, hell, if it helps you, hell, if it helps your enemies stop hating you for no reason, then I'm doing my part. I will not sit here and lie to you all and say that, you know what, man, I don't want 1 trillion views. I'm not going to say that. What I'm going to say is I'm not doing it for views. I'm doing it for purpose. And when you have a purpose, you stay the course. I hear a whole lot of talking about what men are and what men ain't. Make sure that you upholding what it is that you say you stand for. I refuse to put content on my page that if my children come across, if my family members come across, if my colleagues come across, if my enemies come across, that they say you wasted your time doing this. You spent your days doing this. You took time out of your life that God gave you a second chance. You said you was homeless. You said you was evicted. You said you was fired. You said you almost died. You said all of these things that God had delivered you, and the best thing you could do is sit online and hate on people. I can't respect that. I can't respect that. I can't. But if that's what you choose to do, I want to humbly ask you to think about the time that you waste doing it. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know who this is, I'm Mario J. This is Tough Love. And I normally say at this particular time, adult up. But I'm going to say don't waste your time. Share this message. Please.